everybody. It is the premiere episode of Hit Rewind. What's Hit Rewind, you might ask? Well, Jacob, my co-host on the other side. Say hello, Jacob.
Hello, everybody. I ain't afraid of no ghost.
Our show is an amalgamation of other shows that we did for Retro Rock Entertainment for the last 6 years. Back in Tunes was a show that we did about animation, and it is basically coming to an end. We only have a few episodes left. The other shows we had, Video Night is going on hiatus. Trash Cinema is almost done. Comics on Infinite Earths is done. It's just one of these things where I realize I'm doing too many shows. I'm exhausted. We both work full-time jobs. It's fucking insane trying to get other people involved. Jacob's just basically been with me since the beginning, and old reliable, and basically my best friend. I miss you so much.
Damn it, now I'm gonna cry. I promised myself I wouldn't.
Oh, squeeze, you're not sticking there. Okay, if you've never heard this show before, we're two fucking weirdos who go off on strange tangents. We sing, we dance, so you won't be able to see the dancing, obviously. You might be hearing my clogging, though. You might hear, like, there's a... we do voice characters and stuff like that. We're kind of insane. At the same time, we like to deconstruct retro stuff. Hit Rewind is a double meaning for us. Hit Rewind is us basically talking about retro stuff. The plan, I think I worked it out in my head, is to start off in 1980. I don't want to go into any 70s stuff. We're all done with, anything before 1980. And then work our way through the episodes. One episode we'll talk about cartoons from 1980 that we haven't already discussed. That's the rules. We can't cover any cartoons we've already discussed. Maybe classic comedies in 1980, action movies in 1980, and then we cycle through everything from that year. Music from 1980, one-hit wonders, stuff like that. And then we go to another patch where we do 1981, 82, 83. We just do that, 4 or 5 episodes for each year. And we're working towards a variety show. So it'll be our initial stuff. And we'll discuss like any sort of movie news and stuff like that pertains to anything retro coming back, sequels, updates, remakes, stuff like that. Pop culture nerdiness mixed in with the retro. And then we always add in bonus stuff from our old episodes that I've cleaned up, trimmed down, got rid of some of the dead air and stuff like that, and tried to, bring the volume up, because in the beginning, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And then we're going to have our friends come in, and we'll play music and then comedy bits and stuff like that. So it's going to be basically a carnival of a podcast. And I want it to be a lot of fun. Trying to drop some of the... You and I, Jacob, are known for being very political. And for the most part, I'm going to kind of skip over that. Because I think we always dead stop for like 10 minutes in this weird, dark, depressing thing. I kind of just want to have fun.
Exactly. We may not be girls, but we want to have fun too. Get it?
Cue the song. Da 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 da. I can't get my voice at. Oh, girls.
Just wanna have fun. Oh my god, my voice is back.
Yeah, it's weird.
I just got over a sinus infection not too long ago, so it kind of
I
took
didn't know
away my
that.
voice as well. Yeah, everything. I'm like, I couldn't hit high notes. I couldn't scream. If I needed help, I'm already dead.
So
too late.
This is a pilot episode just to test how things go. It's seasonal. We both work in I do upfront retail where I'm really dealing with customers. You work in a warehouse. It's insane right now. So we don't have time for a full-fledged episode. The episodes are going to be long. They're going to be just like an hour and a half to 2 hours, mixed in all sorts of different material. This one's going to be shorter. We're going to be discussing all things Ghostbusters. And it's going to be half of a new conversation about Ghostbusters, because it's been almost 6 years since... Was Ghostbusters our pilot episode of Back in Tunes? I can't remember.
I would say the real Ghostbusters was definitely one of the first cartoons we talked about.
So I feel like Harold Ramis had died, and then we did Caddyshack commentary track, which... commentary tracks are just exhausting. I can never do that again. 2 hours.
Oh gosh, yeah, no.
And then we finished that off with doing the real Ghostbusters. So there's a 20-minute or so clip at the end of this that is from 6 years ago. So some of the stuff's going to be kind of like, didn't this happen a long time ago? These guys are high. And I'll tell you this, I took a really long nap, and I just woke up. I did not realize it's 2019. I mean, what kind of craziness could possibly happen? I mean, seriously. Would we have a celebrity in the White House? That's just stupid.
Yeah, and it's not the kind of celebrity that should be anywhere near it.
I literally said no political stuff, and look what I did.
Damn it, Michael!
So in the time that we did the last episode, many things have changed in the world of Ghostbusters. I IDW has collected up the classic run from Now Comics of the 80s and a lot of their stuff from like 7 or 8 years ago. 10 years ago, I think, actually, is when they first started doing Ghostbusters comics. You never got the chance to read them. I got to read a few. I'm assuming you have.
Sadly, no.
The Ghostbuster comic from Now had really good writing, but god-awful art and the worst coloring you've ever seen in your life, because Now Comics was a very small independent company that basically licensed titles. They hardly had anything original. I think Ralph Snart and a few others. They did Fright Night, the comic book, for a couple years. They did Ghostbusters. Terminator, Married with Children was a huge seller. I had the first issue. Green Hornet, stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, Terminator. I know they did some Terminator comics, and then they did the whole RoboCop versus Terminator.
No, actually, that was Dark Horse. Now Comics had gone out of business. Terminator is known because Alex Ross had started doing artwork for them, and they lost the rights. And then when RoboCop 3 was prepping, that's when they licensed it to Dark Horse, and that's when we got RoboCop versus Terminator.
Oh, okay, now I know. What I say? That's my good.
Yeah. Then IDW decided, I believe it's in 2009. I want to say it was around that video game. I never got to play the video game. Did you?
Which one?
Was there more than one? See, I don't know. I'm really behind on video games.
Oh, the Ghostbusters video game. Oh, yeah, sorry. I was just we were talking about different franchises. But yes, I did play it. I absolutely loved it. They remastered it for the PS4, and I think it's available for other consoles as well, but I'm tempted to get it.
And this
just because.
They did get the original cast for this, correct?
Yes, they did. They got the original cast. Even Pecker. They even got Pecker back. And Brian Doyle Murray as well. Because, Bill Murray's brother, they're always working together, and, they were all part of this original Saturday Night Live crew and National Lampoon.
So I believe when that game was coming out is when they licensed it out to IDW. Now, here's the thing, is Ghostbusters has blown up in the comic book world. I had no idea. I read a couple of the initial miniseries, and they're pretty good. The art's fine. The storyline is great. They get trapped in hell, and they have to find a way to escape. They're not dead. They're just trapped in a hell dimension. And lately they've been crossing over with G.I. Joe and Transformers and all the, like Mask and stuff like that, ROM, because IDW has a big license with Hasbro. So Ghostbusters and G.I. Joe are in the same universe right now, and that's really crazy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I believe it's a miniseries called Infestation, where all the dead come back. And kind of like Blackest Night. It's a little like Blackest Night, I would believe.
Nice. Oh, that's so dope. And who are you going to call?
Yeah. Apparently Storm Shadow.
Oh, that'd be badass.
Ninja Busters.
Well, I mean, Storm Shadow, you're awesome, but you're not Snake Eyes, man. Sorry.
We watched Extreme Ghostbusters, which we never covered during the original episode. I didn't care for it, even though it is clearly full-on horror. They have taken it to a different level of just... I was actually shocked it was in a cartoon.
Yes, it was. I remember watching it as a kid. I even had action figures that went with it. Cool art style. I always enjoyed it. And the latest, rewatching the episodes, one in particular was the one we watched, episode 5. I was like, wow, that's like Clive Barker influence for sure. And I kind of loved it. And, there was also a little nod to R.L. Stine, especially because, it being a cartoon and, geared towards kids as well. Just mix up Clive Barker and R.L. Stine.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And just naming the author in the cartoon of that episode, Clive Stine, I'm like, well, shoot, that's like the perfect blend right there. That's what this cartoon is.
So it's basically a new generation. It's been about 5 years since the last series. I want to say it was 97, right? Is when the Extreme Ghostbusters premiere was on for a couple years.
Yes, it was. And in this cartoon, Egon's the one still carrying on with Slimer. Then he recruits like a new group of kids, younger, and they all each help out. And what was really great is that one of them was actually in a wheelchair, and I'm like, oh wow.
Yeah, it's a little forward thinking with multi-ethnicity, and I don't know, something about it didn't click. I need to grab some more episodes and watch it. But that's interesting. Some networks call this Ghostbusters Dark. I had no idea.
Oh wow. Well, I mean, considering like the episode we recently watched, I'm like, oh yeah, no, this definitely took a dark turn. Which is kind of cool though. But I mean, there were some comedic moments for sure. But again, like even the theme song was kind of like oh gosh, I'm trying to think of the right musician that would go with this. Not exactly oh my god, George Thorogood.
Yeah, well, I thought it had more of like almost like a cool metal kind of industrial feel to it.
Yeah, exactly, like a little bit more like a metal George Thorogood, somewhat.
I was looking at the voice cast, and I didn't realize Tara Sharondoff is in this, who I know is Tara Strong, who, yes, she did a ton of voice work, but I know her as the really slutty student from National Lampoon's Senior Trip.
Yes. Oh, Tara Strong. That is her. My gosh. Oh my god. And she's like voiced Harley Quinn in the Arkham video games and Batgirl in the new Batman animated series. Yeah, dude, she's been all over the place. And I believe Powerpuff Girls and Rugrats. Oh no, wait, E.G. Daily did Rugrats.
Oh yeah. Who also was an actress in a bunch of teen movies. I think people forget sometimes that she was in Better Off Dead, singing the theme song, Valley Girl, and then she sings a couple songs for Summer School. I remember, but Pee-wee. I forgot Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yes, Dottie, and she also did some songs for the movie Scarface.
I'm a loner, Dottie, a rebel.
But yeah, again, I was wondering, like, wait a minute, why is her voice so familiar? I'm like, it's on the tip of my tongue, but I couldn't remember.
We also have Alfonso Ribeiro. What was his character on Fresh Prince? Shit.
Oh, he was Carl.
Yeah, okay. Carlton, okay, yeah, and I remember he was on Silver Spoons, too. I didn't realize he did any voice work. Classic James Marsden, everybody knows him from the Goofy movie and tons of voice work from Step by Step. I think he was in Boy Meets World for a while. What was it? The Munsters, the second series that was in the 90s. I actually just saw him at Portland Comic Con, and he looks amazing for... What is he got? He's got like 45.
Oh, wow. Dang. It's good to know. Wasn't he also in Mortal Kombat Annihilation, or am I thinking of a different guy?
Yeah. What would he have been? He's so tiny. He's very
Johnny
short.
Cage.
No. What? No, James Marsden's very short. He has brown hair. He's about 5 foot tall.
Damn.
I don't know.
I was wrong then. Maybe it's similar
Well,
name.
no, there's an actor in... That's right, I forgot. Johnny Cage gets his neck snapped in the beginning of Mortal Kombat, right?
Yes.
That's the guy from Airborne. I can't remember what his name is, but it's not him. Maurice LaMarche, who was... I didn't have to tell you. If you know cartoons, you know Pinky and the Brain, probably is most famous, doing a version of... I'm having a moment, guys. My brain's gone. Please, Orson Welles.
Okay.
Orson Welles.
Ah, yes, of course. I mean, well, shoot, he is like the closest voice to Orson Welles, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's originally supposed to be called Super Ghostbusters, but of course we're getting into the 90s where everything's extreme, man. Okay, can I tell you something? This is, I'm going to offshoot for a second.
Go ahead.
I've been revisiting. I watched a documentary on the guy, Lou Pearlman, who ripped off all those boy bands in the 90s and went to prison. And I went down a wormhole because it was a genre that I've never really explored, and I actually like the mere idea of it just nauseated me. And I didn't realize how everybody just looked like they're out of a Limp Bizkit video. Everybody had these tips, frosted tips, and dyed spiky hair and weird clothes. And I forget, like 20 years ago, that's what we dressed like. So weird. So it makes sense. This is from that era, and it would be Extreme Ghostbusters. Extreme.
Oh yeah, no. Especially when that whole. I'm trying to think of the right word. When the whole BMX, like, skater,
X Games.
Yeah, X Games, like, really, like, influenced pop culture and design.
Yeah, and
I remember that shit, like, huge. Yeah. Oh, hell, even I had blonde hair for a while. Like,
did you?
Ponyboy status.
Oh, wow.
Ponyboy status.
Stay golden, man. Do it for Johnny.
Do it for Johnny, man.
You gotta get, like, underbite. You do it for Johnny, man. I can't get it.
Matt Dillon, man. Matt Dillon.
All right, so that is it. Basically, what I want to say of the cartoon. Nowhere nearly as good as the original, I believe. Just some of the magic's missing, but the horror element is just cranked up.
Yeah, no. Like I said, it does have its perks. I actually enjoy it.
So I rewatched the originals, and you'll notice in the later chunk of this episode where I bitch about Bill Murray goofing off, that I want to know more about the serious stuff that Egon and Ray are talking about. And I kind of just let go of all that, and I watched it again, and I had so much fun watching both of them. I still don't get the annoyance with Part 2. I think it's perfectly fine. Yes, there is a little repetition for the first movie, but last time I checked, most sequels have repetition in them. It's really hard not to. It's characters and situations you love. I didn't realize that Rick Moranis is barely in it. It looks like he shot everything in like 4 days.
Oh, yeah. And the first or second movie?
The second movie, you can see that, because this is when he was shooting Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and Parenthood, at the same time. So it looks like he went on. I'm guessing he probably did Honey, I Shrunk the Kids first because it took so long to do the special effects. Then he probably fit Ghostbusters in between that and Parenthood. And you can see everything is basically like all one day in the courthouse, all one day in the apartment, and then maybe one day running around New York. And that's about it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And him having like such a busy schedule, considering he was all over the place, that's when he was really blown up.
And you could also probably the same thing with Annie Potts because she's barely in it, and she was also shooting Designing Women at the same time.
Bro. Yeah, now looking back on it, I'm like, oh yeah, they really aren't in it as much as I thought. Because especially when I watched it as a kid, I felt like they were in the movie like the entire time.
Yeah.
Especially during the commercial shoot and whatnot, which was
what I did know, looking into the history of this, is I don't like the fact that on both movies, they took stuff away from Winston and gave it to other characters, especially Bill Murray, because Ernie Hudson wasn't as big of a name. He couldn't fight for it. He was just great for being it. But they really do screw him in the first movie. He barely has anything to do. The second one, they give him more, but he is clearly... It annoys me to no end because Ernie Hudson's a really great actor, and I thought he was very good in these movies, and they should have just given him more.
Exactly.
I mean, equal balance. Is he even on the poster for Part 2? I think he is, but I know he's not on the poster for the first movie, which I think is bullshit.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, he only shows up, like, what, maybe halfway through the movie?
Yeah, but I mean, he's so critical to the rest of it, so that he still should have been on there.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely in the second one, for sure. I mean, one, he was pretty much in the entire movie, wasn't just halfsies, not this time. And he saved Egon and Ray in that photo developing room.
Right, definitely. Yeah, and the second one, I gotta tell you, I just think the scary elements are cranked up a little bit, and I know I've said cranked too many times, sorry. I just got done watching a Jason Statham double feature, okay? So the word crank's on my mind. No,
right.
Peter, what is his name? He's from Dragon Slayer. He was on
Peter McNichol.
Peter McNichol is absolutely phenomenal. He is on a different planet with his performance. It kind of makes up for the fact that Rick Moranis isn't in it because he is even crazier and weirder. Doing this crazy German accent.
Sorry.
So I think the first two work really well. I forgot about this. I had a book cover for my history class that was from Ghostbusters 2 that I bought one of those book fairs. I had that on there forever. I love Ghostbusters 2. I watched it so many times. I think I've seen it more than Part 1.
Oh, yeah, no. I think I was a little bit more familiar with the second one than I was the first one. Same with RoboCop. I was born in 88, and that came out like a year after I was born. Didn't have as much of an influence on me as Batman did, but, man, shit.
Well, and they made the biggest mistake. They opened huge, and they came out a week before Batman, and when Batman came out, they just wiped it clean. Also, the fact that they weren't even ready. Ghostbusters 2 was not finished, and the studio forced them to finish it fast. They were told it was going to be for Christmas. And, man, Columbia Pictures just fucked them over. They had more time, and they wouldn't have had as much competition, and I don't know. It just seems so stupid they did that. Though it would have been facing Back to the Future, too, and they probably would have eaten each other.
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Thinking about that? Yeah, definitely.
I think about
I did not know that.
The summer of '84 had a bunch of delayed sequels like Gremlins 2, Ghostbusters 2, Terminator 2.
Oh, yes.
But, movies you sat around waiting forever for. And I just remember little things from watching the first movie is I remember jumping on my parents' waterbed. And I had a little Ghostbusters gun that had a kind of a projector in it. It had a light bulb. And you pulled the trigger, and it had a little disc in it with different ghosts in it. And every time you pulled the trigger, there would be a different ghost, and the light would shine or whatever, and you'd zap the ghost. And playing the music from the first soundtrack off my parents' gigantic silver double cassette player, playing "Saving the Day," dun dun dun, saving the day, and just running around the bedroom, whatever, attacking ghosts. I just remember that so vividly.
I don't blame you. I mean, I think it was one Christmas. We even had a home video. I was rewatching some of the old stuff. My brother Eddie had, like, the goggles and, like, the ones that would shoot out those little foam bullets and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we had it all.
Yeah, here's the thing is, I don't remember any of the songs from Part 2. And that's so strange. I know there's a Bobby Brown one in there, but it's just none of the songs are as catchy.
Oh, definitely not. I mean, yeah, there's, like, the little remix of the original Ghostbusters theme, but that was about it. It was, like, during that whole montage when they're back in business and catching ghosts all over the place.
I still don't... Yeah. Can you explain to me... This is the only reason... I have a theory, but I'm not sure. It's also an insulting theory. So they're falling apart in the second movie, and Ray and Winston are off doing fucking birthday parties, which makes no sense to me because Ray is a scientist, and Egon's working in that field, and then oh shit, what is Bill Murray's character name? Why do I
Venkman.
Venkman. Peter Venkman is doing the TV show. You really believe that Egon and Peter, with all that money, and I would say in quotation marks power, would let their friends go to stupid birthday parties? I don't understand that plot point at all.
Yeah, no, I mean, especially with how they were treated. All those kids were upset and looking for He-Man, but yeah, no. You're right. It doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Ray is a brilliant man, and you don't think that he could help get Winston a better job? Maybe they could work at a lab together? Winston wasn't a moron.
Exactly.
That's the thing is Winston was never a moron. He's just blue collar. He doesn't work in that field, but it doesn't mean that he doesn't understand it.
Exactly. I know, especially with Egon explaining it to him in the first movie.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing is, it doesn't just because you don't know about it doesn't mean you're dumb. Because at no point does Winston...
Exactly.
Winston has... The minute it's explained to him, he has complete understanding of it. It's just something he had never experienced. It's the same thing for you and I. I wouldn't know what these things were, but I'm not a moron. Exactly.
I mean, he could help be a lab technician. I mean, they could show him the ropes, and he could learn. And he's a quick learner.
Yeah, and
Come on.
The second one's really scary though, man. That scene in the subway station when they're all down there and all those fucking heads are on the spikes.
Oh God, yes. And then of course when Vigo takes over Ray, and he's all kind of distorted and has those bulbs coming out of his back of his forehead. Oh man.
So I mean,
not to mention the character Vigo himself, his introduction when he's talking about Mountain of Skulls on a Throne of Blood, Castle of Pain. I'm like, damn, that imagery right there would be an awesome heavy metal album.
So
sure.
The second one didn't do as well as the first one, obviously, but the first one's a phenomenon. It made $250 million in theaters. That's counting it got re-released a couple of times. Back when they used to do that. Ghostbusters 2 only made $109 million off of... The first one cost $30 million. The second one cost $40 million. I've also heard reports of 50, but I would be surprised if it was only 40 because the special effects aren't that cranked up. I did it again. I gotta stop. The word of the day is crank. Damn it, I hate when I do that. I went around for a month just saying the word Nimrod after I heard George Carlin say it. I don't know what the hell that was about. You fucking Nimrods. But so there was, and it was huge on video. It did very, very well on cable. So they talked for a long time about doing, a part 3, and Bill Murray wasn't really interested, and he was talking about maybe doing a cameo or an and everybody else is still interested. And then they had the falling out from Groundhog Day, and then Harold Ramis and Bill Murray weren't talking to each other, and then they said, well, we're going to do it, but we're going to do it with the new generation. We're really talking about Farley and Chris Rock, being added to the team, passing off. They talked about that forever, and nobody would sign off on it. And then I think everybody just got tired of waiting around, and that's when they decided to do the new Ghostbusters, which at the time of the previous episode we didn't know it even existed. I thought the trailer sucked. It had nothing. I'm going to make sure very, very clear. None of this has anything to do with them being women. None. I am completely fine with female Ghostbusters, mixed race, sex. I don't care. Diversify. It's great. Because it's not about men. Yeah. It's about the storyline. And I actually did not like the 2016 Ghostbusters that much. I thought there was interesting elements. I thought there was funny bits. But I didn't realize until I watched it this time which version I was watching. I was not watching the theatrical cut. I was watching the extended edition. And that's why it felt bloated. It's like an extra 27 minutes, I think, on the extended cut that you gave me.
Yeah, I don't think I actually got that for you. I never bought that movie.
Well, really? So I don't know who... I mean, my sister gave it to me. I've only ever seen the extended cut, and it's too bloated. I want to see the original cut. So I'm not going to pass final judgment, but I enjoyed it way more this time than I did the first time. In fact, with the exception of the fact that there needs to be editing, I thought the storyline was great. I thought the characters were a lot of fun. Maybe there was too many gadgets. They had too many ghosts. I think they need to trim back a little bit. They would have saved on the budget, and also the fact that when you add so many elements to it, it's hard to focus on the rules of it, like those weapons that they create. And she has these two things where she's punching the ghosts, and she's just taking them out like crazy. And I was like, are those the rules of Ghostbusters now? I didn't realize you could just punch them with phantom, whatever it is, electricity power.
Yeah, it's basically the same energy that gives the boosts on their tethers, but at close range combat.
Okay.
And plus God, Kate McKinnon again. She
Oh,
always
she
steals the show for me.
steals
She's
this.
so hilarious.
Yes.
Oh my God, and her design of her character, she looks like the cartoon version of Egon, like the
Oh,
curled hair
definitely.
like that and the big old glasses.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No.
So this movie said was reported to cost 144 million. Now, here's the thing: a lot of people don't know about movies. When a movie is in pre-production for a very long time, it has to absorb all of those costs. So every time they developed a script and attached actors and writers and directors or whatever to a Ghostbusters sequel, which was supposed to be 3 forever, that costs money.
Right.
And they have to roll that into the eventual cost of whatever Ghostbusters gets made. It cost 144 million. I'm telling you right now, it probably cost about 110, and the 3D maybe cost another 10 million on top of that. So you're talking possibly $25 million in pre-production costs over what a 26-year period of time of waiting.
Yeah, right.
That's a lot of cost that you're eating, and the movie wasn't a flat-out stinker. It made $230 million worldwide. It made very, very good money on video, and they talked about possibly doing another one. And they said, well, what if we have alternate universe versions where there's a boys Ghostbusters led by, what's his name?
Channing Tatum.
Yeah, Channing Tatum, thank you. That he was going to lead a team and they were going to cross over, into dimensions and meet up with the girl Ghostbusters. And obviously that never happened. And, here we are with Ghostbusters Afterlife. What looks like to be about a $40 or $50 million, really tightly budgeted, smaller focus. It's almost like an antithesis to the bloat of Ghostbusters 2 and the 2016 Ghostbusters. I should just call it Answer the Call, because that's basically what they say. It's not Ghostbusters. Yeah. It's not a remake of Ghostbusters. It almost feels like an alternate universe Ghostbusters, where it's just a spin-off of sorts.
Yeah, actually, yeah. No, I think it's like a sequel. It takes place like years after. I'm pretty sure that's Egon's granddaughter, because when she's looking in the closet, she sees the suit, and I'm like, it says Spangler. I'm like,
yeah. So what they're trying to, I've heard people argue is like, well, how could they possibly have, because the movie was in '89, part 2 was in '89. How could he have kids in 89, 90 or whatever, and they have kids? They would have to have them. Like, I was like, we don't know anything about Egon. We don't know anything about any of their personal lives except for Peter, basically. So who says between Ghostbusters 1 and 2 that he didn't have a relationship and father some children?
Exactly.
I mean, it doesn't mean he had divorce. Maybe he just had an affair and or whatever, or had a girlfriend and she got pregnant. Maybe she never even told him for a while, and he didn't know in Ghostbusters 2. They literally say nothing about their lives.
Exactly. And not to mention in the trailer, they said, like, well, our grandfather, like, I guess to our inheritance, we get his farm. So we're going to have to move out there. So I'm like, okay, so not even the kids know. And then they uncover and unearth all the equipment. And even Paul Rudd, who's like he was his character himself, seems to be like an actual fanboy and knows about the Ghostbusters stuff. And said there hasn't been sightings of ghosts in over 30 years. So I'm like, oh, okay.
So they ignores the 2016 version, but I still feel like that is in an alternate universe because with all the original cast showing up, and at no point do any of them call themselves the names of the characters in the first ones. None of them have the last name or modified girl versions of either. Any of the names. So it feels like if something went wrong in one of their ghost battles and it created a split universe where they existed, but they're not the same people. Like just one thing went differently. Then that's what I think.
Yeah, like when you're right. Like when they crossed the streams and they closed those doorways when they fought Zool.
Yeah.
Gozer.
Yeah, and at the end, I always get that confused, by the way. Zool is Sigourney Weaver's character, correct? Right?
Yes,
the one that possesses her? Okay. And then Gozer is the main villain. And they mention at the end of 2016 Ghostbusters, Gozer, right? Or no, they mentioned Zool. Who is Zool in the
Exactly, yeah, because, oh gosh, Leslie Jones is like listening in on the device.
Right.
But man, like I said, again, Kate McKinnon just stole the show. Chris Hemsworth was hilarious.
It was a pretty great performance.
But Kristen Wiig's just like kind of always googling over him.
Yeah, like, he's such a dumbass. So dumb.
Again, it was their style of comedy, But like I said, as you mentioned, like the science aspect of it, the paranormal studies, all that is what held up, and that was like one of the key elements of Ghostbusters, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, so I'm excited about this new one. It's in the hands of Ivan Reitman's son, Jason Reitman, who has shown a lot of talent for doing movies that aren't like this. So it's kind of interesting. So I think his focus is on the characters and not so much the special effects.
Right, and special effects these days, again, could be. They seem like they could be a little bit more simplified.
Yeah,
And budgeted.
And it's got a bit of a Stranger Things vibe. And besides the fact that they got Finn Jones in it or whatever his name is. What is his name? Finn Wolf Jones or something like that.
Finn Wolfhard.
Finn Wolfhard. That sounds like a fucking fake name. That sounds like from a
Let me
Sword Sorcery book.
Well, I mean, they're like huge Dungeons and Dragons fans and Stranger Things, so
yeah. So there's some of that element in it, but I think this is an interesting direction. And when he said he was going to put the movie back in the hands of the fans, I think that was a misstep, but also a misunderstanding by people who want to jump shit on everything. They're so angry. Everybody's angry about everything now, and it's just, oh dear God, people calm down.
Oh no, I think it's just these are the unheard ones from back in the day before the internet. So now that there's the internet, they have a voice. Sadly.
Oh God, and they're all still pissed about Last Jedi. Jesus, the best Star Wars movie.
Cry me up.
In my opinion, the best Star Wars movie. It's even slightly better than Empire Strikes Back. Slightly.
Yeah, I know, and that's saying a lot. Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, it's great, and honestly. Watching that a second time, I'm like, God, it made me want more. I'm like, I cannot wait to see Rise of Skywalker now.
Yeah, it's and I don't know what J.J. Abrams is going to do to it to fix anything. I mean, it was under his guidance in the first place. So I can't imagine he wouldn't agree to the things that were changed. And a lot of it is about giving up on expectations. Be ready to pivot when things change. So I just think Star Wars,
because it shouldn't have to stay the same.
Right. It's about growing up. It's about maturing with the franchise.
Exactly.
Letting go.
I mean, and Kylo Ren points that out perfectly in The Last Jedi.
Yeah, it's
somewhat.
I know this
hypocritical.
I know this is the antithesis of any pop culture thing that's going on right now, because every YouTube video, every podcast now that's pop culture oriented, it's more popular to shit on things. That gets all the clicks, it gets all the views, and I'm not about that. There's some things I generally don't like, but we're in a fucked up world right now, and I just kind of want to focus more on the positive stuff. And if there's something that doesn't work out, explain why it doesn't work out. Don't shit on it, because there's almost always something you can find to like about it. It just didn't go in the direction you wanted it to.
Exactly. I mean, I'm pretty sure their expectations were probably, or what they expected was something far too formulaic and far too predictable. Like, because they're so hung up on the extended universe in the novels. Don't get me wrong. Timothy Zahn created some great characters, created some great stories, a lot of plot holes. Some things didn't match up, but again, I'd rather have something new and different, especially by someone who is a huge Star Wars fan like J.J. Abrams.
Yeah. And
this is one of the funny thing is when Disney first bought Star Wars, or they first bought Lucasfilm, they were going to make new Star Wars movies. This was around 2012, and Joss Whedon was a huge success, and anybody who knows him knows he's a huge Star Wars fan. Especially considering that Serenity and Firefly were, his versions of Millennium Falcon. I said, if it's not going to be Joss Whedon who's going to handle a Star Wars film, it's going to be J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, I just, I think that's going to be the focus of the show, though, is trying to focus on positive things. You might hear some negativity in some of the older episodes. I think when we were first recording this show is right when my parents had separated and my dad was a psychopath and things were just going horribly wrong, and there's a couple moments where I was basically homeless, living in a garage, and Willow got sick. So you're going to hear things throughout the past that might be super negative or depressing. It's just a reflection on who we were when we first started the show and then where we are now.
Exactly. And honestly, some of those hateful videos that are trying to justify their hate for Last Jedi, I'm sorry, but none of it holds up, especially when they try to criticize Luke or bitch about Rey's journey. Her journey's pretty much the same, except she actually believes in the Jedi Order and thinks they should come back.
All right.
And
sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, okay.
Sorry. Yeah. I don't want to go too far into that because we can save that for another episode.
Oh God, yes.
Because the movie's coming out in 5 days, mind you. I am not going that first week. No way in hell. I hate people.
Right, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. You might have a good chance at a matinee?
Maybe.
Early showings?
I went and saw Avengers Endgame about 2 weeks in, and I went during the day, and I was like, there's a ghost town in there. What the hell? Downtown Salem, it's a government-run city, basically, so everybody's basically doing government stuff, and no one's at the movies, apparently, so.
Damn. I thought Salem still had covens of witches, and...
No,
no offense.
We have covens of rednecks. It's Salem, Oregon, not Salem, Massachusetts.
Damn it.
All right, everybody.
Wrong Salem. Sorry.
So this pilot episode is going to be on our regular network, Retro Rock Entertainment. I'm going to try to rebuild everything for Hit Rewind because it's just we're like a phoenix. We're going to rise out of the ashes.
And we'll try to come in like wrecking balls, like Miley Cyrus.
No. Well,
oh, okay. Sorry.
All right. Everybody, check us out on Facebook under Retro Rocket Entertainment for now, and Twitter, same thing, Retro Rocket. And Jacob, send us out.
All right, everybody. Namaste and good luck. Have a good night and enjoy your holidays.
We've hit rewind this entire episode, so it's time to go back to the future.
Are you troubled by strange noises in the middle of the night?
Do you experience feelings of dread in your basement or attic?
Have you or any of your family ever seen a spook, specter, or ghost?
If the answer is yes, then don't wait another minute. Pick up your phone and call the professionals. Go Ghostbusters! Our courteous and efficient staff is on call 24 hours a day to serve all your supernatural elimination needs.
We're ready to believe you!
Ghostbusters!
Each sold separately.
Parts unpacked, ready. Ghostbusters loaded. You scared? Never. You first. PKE meter reads a Class 3 ghost. It's Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Rooster. Oh no, another one. We ain't ghosts. Zappa. We ain't afraid of them. Ghosts.
Proton Pack and Ghost Popper Gun, each sold separately. The real Ghostbusters. From Kenner.
The Ghostbusters are back!
And we're the official headquarters. You know what that means.
We're gonna be busy?
You better believe it.
Remember, guys, only we've got what every Ghostbuster wants.
Chicken sticks?
Ghostbusters!
Who are you gonna call?
When you see a ghost, blast.
I don't see any ghosts.
See? It works. I ain't afraid of no ghost.
They're here!
Okay, let's cook.
Collect all 4 Ghost Blasters, only at Hardee's.
Tonight on the ABC Sunday Night Movie, something strange is in the neighborhood.
Somebody get me the Ghostbusters.
Now it's showtime.
And who are you gonna call?
In the big time.
Times Square Slime.
For the second time.
Yes, we're back.
It's slime time.
Looks like a giant Jell-O mold.
Dan Aykroyd.
I hate Jell-O.
Bill Murray.
Come on, there's always room for Jell-O.
Sigourney Weaver. Harold Ramis and Rick Moranis.
Let's cook!
The second time is the best time. And now, the ABC Sunday Night Movie, Ghostbusters 2.
Alright, welcome everybody to the very first episode of Back in Tunes. It's going to be our special show devoted to cartoons of the 80s and 90s. We usually just run through a commentary track over one episode, so it's a little bit shorter than our other podcast. We'll have a mix of everything from like the 70s, 80s, 90s, kind of see how we remember them, or some of the cartoons that I will have never seen before, and the same thing for Chris and Jacob. So do you want to introduce the episode? What are we watching today?
Right, so this is the very first episode of Ghostbusters, so season 1, episode 1. Do we know how many seasons this ran for?
You know what, I think it was like 6 or 7. It's one of the longest running cartoons. Usually cartoons lasted 2 or 3 seasons, and that was it. This one lasted a very long time. I know it lasted long enough to hit the point where it went to Slimer in the real Ghostbusters because he was so popular.
That's right, he actually became his own icon eventually.
And then it became Extreme Ghostbusters for like 3 or 4 seasons. I mean, that was a total of probably 10 seasons.
Anybody here ever drink the Slimer High C?
Oh, who didn't? As a child,
one of
everybody
the best
did.
flavors ever when you were
Was it actually green?
Yes.
I think it was. It
was actually green.
Weird
Yeah.
neon green.
Wow.
It's pretty
I know.
crazy.
And this episode is titled Citizen Ghost.
Alright, so fire up your DeLorean, hit that flux capacitor that's fluxing, and we're going back in tunes.
And where we're going, we don't need roads.
We just need YouTube. And yes, if you don't know where to get this, we are watching this on YouTube. It's easy to catch.
There's so many cartoons. Heck, even Peter Pan and the Pirates is on YouTube. We gotta do that one sometime.
I've never heard of that one. This is gonna happen a lot, I imagine. I'm a child of the 80s, they're children of the 90s, so we're gonna get a good mix. Actually, Chris, you're kind of
I'm right in the middle. I'm mid-late 80s.
I'm G.I. Joe, you're Teenage Mutant Turtles, and you're probably X-Men.
And Batman the Animated Series. And they turned Slimer into a good guy. That way kids could love him even more now.
It seemed like in the second movie that he actually became a little heroic, or not, just not a horrible monster.
That's right. He drove Rick Moranis to the museum.
This is some pretty horrifying monsters. Okay, Return of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. How? I have no idea.
No, exactly. But, honestly, yeah.
Keeping the same song is the best thing they could have
Yes,
done.
they did.
The look has changed a little bit, but they really did a good job of making it, stick to the movie's, what's the word I'm looking for? Iconic look.
It's, of course, like mythos, or it's...
Well, they actually had to call us the real Ghostbusters because of the, I think it was Funimation? Filmation. Filmation already had a cartoon called Ghostbusters.
In fact, it was based on a TV show, a live-action TV show in the 70s from the same company. It had Larry Storch from F Troop, and it had an ape and everything. So it was a real live-action show.
Oh.
When the movie was successful, they brought out the new cartoon a year or two later. It's okay. It's not great by any means, but... This episode is written by J. Michael Straczynski, who would go on to create Babylon 5.
Oh, wow.
And become an excellent, excellent comic writer.
Yeah, this animation, I think this is the same animation studios who did, the Marvel cartoons at the time. And the RoboCop animated series.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. A lot of the cartoons...
Well, back then, they were all sourced to the same place, weren't they?
Yeah,
A lot of the same places.
I don't know how I never noticed as a child, but a lot of those cartoons were not made in America. They were produced by American companies, but everything was sent overseas, so it kind of had an anime style to it.
Which is why it's if you notice, there's a book and it's written backwards. It opens backwards, from right to left, not left to right.
Yeah, and this one isn't as obvious though as way it is a G.I. Joe, Transformers, where you can see heavy anime influence. I gotta look up this actor's name because he actually sounds like Bill Murray, and he actually played Garfield. He used to do I think commercials for butter or something like that.
Wow, man. Oh, God. I can't. Just watching this after so long really makes you miss it. Ugh. Just pick the tear to my eye.
I really, really, really pushed this cartoon. Especially pushed. I said pushed. They pushed Slimer a lot.
Yeah. Well, of course, Slimer being a big,
merchandising.
Yeah,
merchandising.
Where the real money from the movie is made. Yes, he was a big merchandising logo, especially with kids. I mean, of course, kids loved all the weird stuff.
I didn't really have the toys. It was right as I was starting to get out of toys, but I do remember having the gun from it. It had these little discs that go inside.
Oh, God, yeah.
Pictures of different ghosts.
Did you ever have the one that had the giant styrofoam?
Yes.
That came out as the beam. It was like the backpack.
You know what?
And then you could pull the trigger, and it was one of those bing, 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 bing toys.
Someone actually still owns that.
Yeah. I had one of those, and I had the ghost trap, which was really cool. I like how it's the first episode, and it's just established that there's ghosts. And they're already buddies.
And of course, and this stays true to Bill Murray's character indefinitely. That's what I liked about this animated show, too.
Did this come out after the movies or before the movies?
It came out right as the second one had come out. It was that fall.
So the characters are kind of already established.
Yeah.
As a style or type. Yeah.
It literally to the first movie.
Yeah. Second. Gozer was... Oh, no.
Gozer was the first one. The second one was Vigo. To Vigo.
I actually like the second one a lot. It doesn't have as much pop as the first movie, but there's a lot of goofy crap going on.
I got Peter McNichol. Oh, God, Peter McNichol, I thought was just damn right hilarious.
Arsenio Hall was Winston Zendemore?
Yeah.
That's why it sounded so familiar.
Wow.
Oh, my God, that's awesome.
Okay, so Lorenzo Music played the voice of Peter Venkman before years later David Coulier would take over, from Full House and take over on the Extreme Ghostbusters.
Oh.
And that is not the voice. When I think of Garfield and I think of Peter Venkman, that is not the face that I see.
Not at all. His last name's Music?
Yeah.
That was where all the trouble started. We're not entirely sure what happened.
Oh, what about the voice of Egon?
Look that up.
Maybe it's my dirty mind, but I all the white stuff on the face and the clothing, they need it.
Yeah, they really think that one out, did they?
Yeah, Gozer had a quick one before. Had a quickie before he, decided to explode.
What was Gozer? He, she, it?
Whatever it wants to be.
Established. It's whatever. Yeah, it was always whatever it wanted to be. In the case of the movies, it happened to be a she.
It wanted to be a she. It wanted to be like a short-haired...
Butchy.
Yeah, exactly. Very butchy. That sounds... Oh gosh, that voice of Egon, though, it sounds so familiar.
I'm trying to find it.
Of course, right here, that's like, they try to make Peter like kind of the lazy dope.
The animation looks pretty good.
No,
what I would have expected.
Yeah,
Sometimes you come back and it doesn't hold up to what you remember.
Yeah, you put a lot of money into it. Maurice LaMarche played Egon Spengler, who I'm pretty sure he played, Brain from Animaniacs. What are we gonna do today, Brain?
Same thing we do every night, Pinky.
Try to take over the world.
I did the voices backwards, by the way. Talk! What can I do tonight, Brian?
Yeah, why was he Australian?
Slimer wants stepping.
Listen to these cartoons that Maurice LaMarche did in the 70s and 80s. Beanie and Cecil, Dennis the Menace, Popeye and Sons, The Real Ghostbusters, Transformers, Popples, Inspector Gadget, Tailspin, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, the animated series, Captain Planet, Tiny Toons, Tasmania, Bonkers, I don't remember that one.
Oh, I remember Bonkers, the cat. He was a little cat in Toontown. He was a cop.
Okay.
He was really bumbly and stupid.
Critic, The Tick.
Oh, the Critic.
Freakazoid, Pinky and the Brain.
If you do good voice work, you pretty much can do everything.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they tend to do a lot of
It just
things.
goes on and on and on.
Damn, Slimer jacking all the food as usual.
Yeah, this was on for 6 seasons, 147 episodes. That's a lot. That's just the original Ghostbusters, or the first Ghostbusters series. I mean, you're not talking 3 or 4 seasons that Extreme Ghostbusters is on.
That is a long time for a cartoon. That's pretty rare.
Oh, you know what? For some reason I thought this cartoon started after the second movie. It says here it started in 1986.
No, yeah, it did. 86.
Well, when they first started the episode, too, they talked about Gozer, so it must have picked up right after that. It wasn't
I remember there was a small comic book label called Now Comics. They used to like grab stuff like this and make comics out of it. This one lasted a long time. I remember it was like 30 or 40 issues. Decided they're defunct, but I wonder if the comics were any good. I've never read them. I only ever read their Fright Night series.
Fright Night.
Based off the movies Fright Night?
Seriously.
Like Fright Night?
The actual Chris Sarandon movie. Oh, that's badass.
As an obsessive over the first Fright Night movie, I spent years going around collecting every single issue. In fact, this is before eBay. This is before I could get all those issues. I remember I got all of them except like 3 or 4. Then once eBay started to come around, I was like, I just went and bought the entire set. I didn't care if I had doubles. Then you had like the 3D versions. No, but the series only lasted 2 years. It's fantastic.
Wow.
We'll try to do a Fright Night commentary sometime, and then we'll talk about that more.
Oh gosh, a Fright Night commentary would be the shit. That would be the shit.
So no one's ever done one for the first 2 movies.
Yeah. Well, as far as the first 2 movies, the second movie was a bit of a... It actually wasn't as bad as you'd think. It was actually pretty funny. Then again, so was the first one. And look, it's pretty weird for just out of nowhere. It's like all of a sudden Slimer's like a guy not trying to be so mischievous. I think they
needed like a weird semi-antagonist to like cause trouble.
Yeah, you know, instead you're the bumbling, goofy little
they don't have a
sidekick that all the kids love.
Yeah, I mean, he's basically Urkel. I mean, he just one little shred of saying, "Did I do that?" That sure sounds like Andy Richter, but I know it's not.
Yeah, it does sound a little bit like him.
It's Frank Welker. Frank Welker. The name is all over the place in 80s cartoons. I mean, it's just insane.
Yeah, he's done a lot of stuff, that's for sure.
He's known as Freddy in Scooby-Doo, Megatron. Think about that. The voice of I can't think. Freddie Jones on Scooby-Doo is the same voice that did Megatron.
That's crazy.
That's all over the place. Dr. Claw. Did you ever talk? Oh, we were talking about him because during Mortal Kombat, he did the voice of the. I can't remember what it was now. We just did that voice, I can't remember the character he did.
So the character he did was and I'm looking it up right now. Frank, you said Frank Welker was in the new. Was it the latest Mortal Kombat?
He was the villain at the very end of the first Mortal Kombat. Like that last few seconds, he says something.
Oh, you weak, pathetic. Oh, when he's Shao Kahn. That's right. Yeah, that's. Oh gosh.
He has done so much voice work that I'm only up to letter D, and I've already hit like 100 titles.
Oh wow. And now we get zombie versions of the Ghostbusters.
He just did everything.
I mean, he's done so much work that on his biography on Wikipedia, he has a whole separate page just for his filmography.
Yeah, as an actor, he's done over 711 jobs.
Yeah, and up till 2011, he made more money like over all his movies than he appeared in.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. And Samuel Jackson just passed him.
Wow.
That didn't fit at all. That was not the voice I wanted from that ghost.
Not at all.
They used to be like, we'll be right back. They still do that.
No, I don't think they do. No, not these days.
And then they used to do this episode is brought to you by
Kellogg's.
And of course, you get your cute little poppy songs that,
I can't even begin to look at his filmography. There's page after page.
It's like, there was definitely tension. There was, even in the cartoon, there was still tension between Egon and. Oh God, why do I keep forgetting her name?
Janine.
Janine, yes. Between Janine and Egon, there's definitely tension.
I wonder if they introduced Rick Moranis' character later.
I mean, he was in the first movie, but as far as the cartoon, not too sure yet. Now, that song earlier, was that Tiffany? It sounded like Tiffany.
I don't know if she was out yet, but it's possible.
It's back in the 80s when all the soundtracks are just from pop artists.
The voice work is really good, even though the animation of the mouth is obviously like, we're just moving the mouth in this part, nothing else. His hair is insane. Everybody else's hair looks normal. What's up with Egon?
I don't know. Yeah, they did want to give him something a little more, big old 80s curls, something.
Did they think
something to fit with the time?
He's a scientist type too, so he's got to look a little more crazy.
Eccentric, yeah.
A little eccentric, yeah. Still stylized.
Well, maybe they thought that nobody with glasses would sell, so they had to give us something the kids would be find appealing.
And yet his hair is white, so hence the whole mad scientist white hair look.
He's very new wave.
I think those glasses remind me of Natural Born Killers, with those very round.
Oh yeah.
They shaved his head. He'd be crazy looking. I'm not messing that dude.
It's just one of those things. You wouldn't see him again for several days. He does sound pretty funny when he was saying that.
You know what's funny is I don't really remember. This is a big hit, but I don't really remember a lot of like supernatural-based cartoons around that time. I think maybe Scooby Doo made a comeback, but that was like 5 or 6 years later. Just as this was ending.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Usually, cartoons when they're successful, they spawn something that almost exactly copies that, and I don't think it happened with this. There are times when he's talking, I swear, he's very like,
Well, of course, with that. Oh, of course, with the ghost version of himself, it makes sense.
Hey, buddy, you got like a Twix bar or something? Okay, the logic.
Would you make that?
The logic of how to contain ghosts and store them into a huge container never made any sense to me. I never really got that.
Had to tether them and put them in the trap.
Yeah, but I mean, like after that, they would store it. I mean, how do you store a ghost?
Exactly, like in some big old container. They mentioned it in the movie, and I'm sure they explained it.
That was so bizarre to me.
Of course it is. Oh, yeah, and I think Dan Aykroyd was actually didn't he have a degree? Didn't he have like a science degree?
I don't know. I know he's
and he did.
a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he was.
He did that
like
TV
Supernatural.
show Paranormal, Chronicles of the Supernatural.
Yeah, he did. And I remember when playing the video game and seeing the special features behind it, he would actually like discuss like ectoplasm or anything to do with the supernatural and what all these like all of these terms meant, and sort of like focusing in like pointing out what's where and how to determine it.
Yeah, and he's really carried the Ghostbusters franchise. I mean, he's been integral in getting the cartoons going. The video games have been keeping the name alive. I don't think there's going to be a Ghostbusters 3, though. I really don't.
Oh, no.
After Harold's passing.
Especially after Harold. Yeah, of course not. No. I mean, you can't do it without it.
If you're going to do it, just reboot it. I mean, they could use a facelift with some special effects. I mean, you could technically continue it in that same world. Like, they had events before, and there were Ghostbusters before. But, kind of make it its own.
That was the most dramatic thing you said the whole episode.
I'm really pissed.
You pissed off Ray. You wouldn't want to. You pissed off Winston. Don't blame him.
Yeah, Winston's the most underrated. I really despise the fact that through all the promotion of the first movie, Ernie Hudson is never there. Sure, he's not in the entire movie. I just think that it's subconsciously racist that they didn't include him.
That's what it seemed like, because he was just sort of an extra add-in, like, oh, we need the fourth black guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's very important in the second one. But that first one, they just kind of cast him off to the side.
Yeah.
So half a charge holds him for a few minutes, a full charge holds him for, what, 5? They really need to think out.
It's kid logic. Doesn't matter. In 5 minutes we'll forget anyway.
That's like kids don't really care. They don't really want to pay attention. They're like, oh, it's all pretty, it's so cool, it's so magic.
So are they crossing?
They're crossing streams, yeah. That's what they're not supposed to do the entire time. They could have ripped a hole through time or opened up a dimension to another paranormal universe. Or hell, they could have brought the Dark Judges in, and that means Judge Dredd would have to cross over, and that'd have been badass. And this is where they bring Slimer in.
Now, while the cartoon did not have a lot of spin-offs or stuff that it influenced, the movie, of course, opened the floodgates for horror comedy. Not horror parodies, but horror comedy. After that, it was just for 5 or 6 years, non-stop. Like comedy mixed in with supernatural stuff. High Spirits, Critters. There was Transylvania 65000.
Did you really count Critters? Critters are more like space aliens.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess they're talking more like supernatural. I don't know why I said that. I just think of the horror comedy. I think people are more open to adding...
Oh yeah, Frighteners was a good one.
Oh yeah. But I mean, not just supernatural, but adding comedy to horror. Like a lot of them started gearing that way. I mean, even like Jason started adding like jokes, and the Freddy movies were heavier on jokes.
No, yeah, I guess you're right. If we're talking comedy horror, Critters would count.
I mean, especially the small...
Oh, Critters was just funny. It could not be taken seriously
whatsoever. You had House, you had Vamp.
When I heard about Critters the first time, I wanted to watch that so bad when I was a kid, and I finally got around to it. I didn't realize how campy and silly it was.
Oh yeah, it's scarier than Gremlins. Gremlins helped get the horror comedy part across too. Those two.
Oh yeah,
I thought Gremlins was scarier than.
Oh yeah, the first one, the second was hilarious.
What?
Then again, I watched Gremlins when I was young, and I watched Critters when I was like 23. So.
Yeah, I saw Critters almost immediately after it came out. I don't know why it came out on TV so early after it was in theaters. I saw it, and I think I was like 11 or whatever. It was like one of the very first scary movies I was allowed to watch. I was not allowed to watch it as a kid. And I would not sit on the ground for like a week because I had Critters as a kid, which made no sense.
That's hilarious.
What was I going to mention? Oh no, there was another one that was absolute. I thought hysterical, but it just left my mind off. Damn it!
But then I think with Scream coming back, it reinterpreted how you can make horror comedy, and then it just fade away. Yeah. It's just now completely taken over by Saw, that kind of
fucking Saw.
Or like emotional gross, just Twilight.
God forbid Twilight. I'm so glad it's over.
Yeah.
I'm so glad it's over. Those aren't even vampires. They're fairies. Nothing against fairies. If anything, calling people in Twilight fairies is an insult to fairies.
I didn't know that was I haven't watched much of it, I guess.
But then again, none of them exist. Hell, I would have kept Slimer too, man. I mean, I would have taken him everywhere with me.
Yeah.
I would have scared him. I would have had him scare the shit out of, especially at work. Like if people were giving me shit or trying to fuck me over.
It's like this universe, it's so well established after everything that just happened. I mean, if you see a giant marshmallow man walking down the street, nothing's really gonna phase you after that.
Yeah.
When you're walking down the street.
It's nice that they took some time to do the background stuff. A lot of cartoons would just minimize what they shove there.
But here they kind of give it a little more detail.
How the story can she tell? I mean, she only interviewed Peter. What can I say, fellas? I guess when she saw me, she saw all she needed.
I keep expecting to start talking about lasagnas and hating Mondays.
He's keeping that really sleepy, boring cat voice.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel very alive. He's just kind of bored.
Oh, shucks.
I prefer a court to that unstopped member of the Ghostbusters, Slimer.
Oh, hey. That's totally Peter Venkman. Oh god, it stays true to the character, that's for sure. That's what's great about these cartoons. That's another great thing about these cartoons.
I mean, there weren't a whole lot of movie adaptations into cartoons, but they didn't half-ass this. This is that weird period where they started making cartoons that like Rambo, RoboCop. They didn't sort of like action-oriented. It was just weird.
And they do the dance. They do the dance at the end. Yeah, no, yeah, it's all Japanese.
It's all Japanese,
They sent it over to Japan to get all this
I'm
done.
curious what company took it.
Yeah. Deke. Yes, these are great. Oh, that's what it was. Now Sony owns it.
Alright, well that's the end of our first episode of Back in Tunes. Hopefully we can get this to be more of a regular thing. If you have any suggestions for cartoons we should cover, we'll try to cover whatever we can. Some we'll be able to fill an entire half hour with, but give us something. We'll chit chat about it. Alright, have a good night. Sign off. This is Michael, signing off.
Go ahead, Jacob. Go ahead.
Everybody Wang Chung tonight. This is Jacob.
And this is Chris.
Jacob's going to use that every time. Oh boy. Alright.
It's something I can think of until the meantime.
Everybody stop listening now. Run away while you can before it's too late.
Hey everybody. This is the add-on to the Everything's Ghostbusters episode we did 5.5 years ago. I can't remember. It was before Ghostbusters. What the is it? Afterlife, right? Afterlife is the third one.
Yes.
Okay, it was before we found out it was going to be delayed for COVID. Because I remember like, hey, in a few months we'll be seeing. I was like, no, we weren't. No, we didn't. We didn't see it for quite a while.
Wrong again, boy.
Yeah. So this is our discussion of Afterlife and Frozen Empire that we're going to add on to this. So if you're listening to the old episode, hey, keep going. So I know I took my sweet ass fucking time getting around to watching them. I don't know why. I just did. I think Afterlife is perfectly fine. It's a really good sequel. I think Part 2 is overhated. I think all the movies after the first Ghostbusters are overhated. It's very strange. Even Afterlife really didn't get a whole lot of attention. If you look at the box office, you're like, it did okay, only because it cost like $65 million.
Yeah, overall, considering they were making a direct sequel to Part 2 and bringing in a new generation of Ghostbusters, again, it handled it very well. It's fan service done right.
Yeah, it doesn't go too far down the tunnel. I mean, it is straight up a sequel to the first movie. It kind of ignores that Part 2 even happened. I really don't think there is anything left over from Part 2 that they even bring up in one. Am I wrong? Seems like the whole thing's kind of ignored.
Yeah, it's very. I think it was like we mentioned about having to deal with slime. I'm not sure, but it definitely has more of a connection with Part 1, especially with the whole, lore of Gozer and whatnot.
Yeah.
Having to deal with that again.
Yeah, and the dog creatures, the Gate Master and the Key. Gate Master and the Key. What is it?
Key Master and Gatekeeper.
Yeah, that's it. And then it adds a little bit more to it. The world is a little bit deeper with the Gozer lore, and a lot of it's around Egon. Okay, so look, you're gonna have to take a little bit of like leeway with the fact that they never bring up the fact that he was a dad, and clearly it had to have been around. Well, I'm looking at how old she is. It had to have been between like maybe it was even before part one. Actually, now that I think about it, it's possible because Carrie Coons, I think, is almost my age, and I was born in '77. It's just something he never brought up that he was a dad, that he had a family. I mean, they really don't give you much. They all seem like they're bachelors in the first movie.
Oh, absolutely. Well, especially Bankman. He's definitely a bachelor.
Yeah, and you know the fact that Janine is trying to hit on Egon, he really isn't caring. He isn't giving it much attention. I thought my guess was that they had a child, and it was after part two, but I was like, the math isn't there. Huh? Okay, I wonder where this happened. It's just something they just left out. That's it. That's all there is to it.
Oh yeah, no, I mean he didn't. The only thing he mentioned that he was in collecting spores, molds, and fungus.
Yeah, they don't give you much about his life outside of that. And that leaves an opening for continuing the story in that direction. So yeah, I mean, if you're cool with that, like then you have a really good story about a broken family, and he had his reasons, strange reasons. I still think that he would have told them, right? I just for whatever reason he just kept it from everybody. But the only way to make the story work is to do that. That's it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, behind the scenes, yeah, Jason Reitman, son of Ivan Reitman, pretty much grew up around this.
Yeah.
And so he had a great understanding on how to tell this story and take it a little further.
And yeah, go ahead.
Again, I will say the part with Ghost kind of helping out, this little dedication to Harold Ramis was just done beautifully, especially with the new character. Oh gosh, why am I blanking on the character's name? But yes, Egon's granddaughter.
Yeah, McKenna Grace. I don't know what.
Yeah, McKenna Grace.
Yeah.
Oh, she does. Loved her. She played Egon. She definitely carried on the personality of Egon perfectly.
Yeah.
To the point where it hints that Egon himself might have been on the spectrum.
Well, and it's also like they played with fire in the first movie. They really did. Actually, in both movies, they really flouted the law, the rules of stuff. I mean, the fucking containment center. I still don't know. Like, I always wondered, like, what would they do when this one was full? Like, how would they move on to another one? But they answer a lot of this in the Frozen Empire. There's a lot of questions that needed to be answered. They take care of in the next movie. This one's more simplified. It's out in the middle of nowhere, clearly greenlit because of Stranger Things. Of course, also because there's a kid from Stranger Things as the main cast member. But you can see, like, well, the 80s are red hot again. Stranger Things is huge. Let's bring the Ghostbusters back. And you can see Columbia Pictures going, okay, yeah, the last reboot, it didn't work out the way we wanted it to. I still think it's a valid film. Don't watch the director's cut, though. It's overlong. Watch the theatrical cut.
Yeah, I will say that. Like, again, the movie, it did make a lot of money for him, and the reviews were overall pretty good. But yeah, everybody just was upset because of the whole new all-female reboot of it. It's like, so what? These girls are funny.
Well, it also was. It was very expensive. It was $150 million. And I'm going to say, they had to take all the development costs from trying to do 3 for, 20-something years and roll that into the cost of the Ghostbusters 2016. So, yeah, it cost 150, but I'm going to guess actually 120 of it was the actual budget. Still, yeah, it made a lot of money, but just not enough, and a lot of people were dissatisfied. This was a way to please the audiences, that it's 50-50, male and female. There's new cast members. You got cameos basically from the old cast. It is the fan service done in just the right way without seeming cloying, which a lot of these legacy sequels can do.
Yes. Now, that ending though, when they actually do show like Harold, Egon coming back as a ghost to help out take down Gozer. Oh man, very a great little send off for that, and of course closure with the daughter. Oh,
the tears in my eyes. That's what I'm telling you right now.
Man down, my God.
Yeah, it's a fun little adventure. I think it's funny was this paid by Walmart? Did they give a huge fee to have him go shopping in Walmart and be attacked by mini marshmallow monsters?
Oh God, yeah. I have a feeling that was. And speaking of that scene, I love how they made the dog, more practical. They only used CG when they needed to.
Yeah.
Oh man.
They were talking about doing a mini Marshmallow Men spinoff, and I'm like, no, it's fine the way it is. Little demented pieces. They're like homicidal, and suicidal.
I know, they're like stabbing each other with like pretty much all these little prongs and like
burning them. They're just like
burning
chomping each other's
themselves
face.
with torches and making
God.
themselves into s'mores. I'm like, I hope they're not going to eat each other.
The sequel, I think, is a little bit of a problem because there's too much. Great concept, new villain, moving on to something beyond Gozer is a great idea. Bringing back the old cast, totally get it. Taking it to New York, fucking awesome. More expensive. I think it was actually shot in Toronto, to tell you the truth. But there's so many characters. There's so much going on that a lot of the stuff that they tried to develop in the first movie, they leave behind. I think the kids, their characters are lacking some. Yeah, McKenna Grace has a whole thing with a side ghost, but I feel like it was kind of thin. But the son, he absolutely has nothing to work with in this. And there's just so many people. They're trying to do like a Ghostbusters like headquarters, like in Mission Impossible. It's like the Fast and Furious world of Supernatural.
Pretty much, yes. I mean, Ray knows that they need to upgrade their equipment, like the new containment grid. He does mention that. Winston.
Yeah.
Winston, being the big financier, the big successful businessman, the one who's funding all their adventures and all their R&D and everything. Oh God, yeah. Honestly, his presence was definitely a lot heavier in the movie than the rest of the old cast.
Yeah, and I think that the way that they need to do the next one is have Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson stay in it. Maybe it's time to let Bill Murray go. He has some fun lines and something cool to do in Afterlife, but he didn't seem like he had a fucking thing to do in Frozen Empire, and he looked bored out of his mind. Love Annie Potts, but again, she really didn't have much to do. You have Dan Aykroyd be, not Venkman. What's his Ray? Have Ray, Ray Stantz be like their Q. He's the guy that gives them all the knowledge they need, maybe the information about the new gadgets. And then Winston is like the head, like their money penny. If it's handling their mission, the funding and stuff like that. That's the way it needs to go. Just focus on those two. Plus, they're still lively. They love this shit. Bill Murray, I don't really know if he actually cares or he's just doing it kind of out of like, well, I owe one for all the, every time it was a dedicated to, one person or another that passed away. The last one was Ivan Reitman. And I'm not sure if he is emotionally invested or they're just like, hey, can you just come and hang out for a couple of days and we'll give you a fucking $1 million, or something like that.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way too. He was he was briefly in the movie, and it was more of a focus on everybody else.
Yeah, and Aykroyd and Hudson, I can see being like, I don't give a fuck what I'm paid. We love this shit. We've been carrying the banner for decades, so we're invested in the story and the franchise.
Oh, absolutely. And Ernie Hudson did deserve more screen time.
Yeah, they fucked him on that. I'm still so pissed he's not on the poster for the first movie. I don't give a shit if he's not well known. Who the fuck knew who Harold Ramis was outside of Stripes?
or like behind the scenes stuff, like directing Caddyshack. That was it.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of interesting ideas. What's God, Kumail.
Kumail Nanjiani, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, the whole firebender, like fire controllers to fight off this frozen dark god.
Yeah, so now you have like your own supernatural team being added in with just really dedicated, cool kids and the family members. It's going off in a whole different branch. I don't know if adding supernatural heroes to it is a good idea, but he was funny. I enjoy his character.
Oh, absolutely no. And Kumail Nanjiani is just hilarious. I love seeing him and everything he's done.
Yeah.
And there was one character reappearing. Oh God, Walter Peck.
Oh, yeah. Sigourney only comes back for a little cameo that's very cute at the end of Afterlife. We still do not have Rick Moranis back, and I would like it if they're going to bring him back, that narratively it makes sense, not just to have him back for no reason. Because two, it feels a little forced. He doesn't really need to be there. All of a sudden, he's a lawyer now, and you're like, huh? And you can see he was only on set for a couple days because he was too busy shooting Parenthood and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Right. And honestly, the second one, I didn't think it was a. Yeah, it was weird that he was an attorney because in the first movie he was just a tax man.
Yeah. If you're going to bring him back, it has to make sense. It can't be forced. I think that's why he has decided not to. Like, he's coming back for the new Spaceballs, and he was going to come back for the Honey I Shrunk the Kids remake or sequel or whatever that was that got canceled by Disney. Fuck you for canceling that. Yeah.
Indeed.
But yeah, it would be nice if they could just keep creating the lore like they did with the cartoon. J. Michael Straczynski was big driving force on the real Ghostbusters back in the 80s, early 90s, and they created tons of great monsters, and they can continue doing this. The only problem is, will the audience show up? Because the box office for the last one wasn't as big. They're going to have to cut the budget back some if they want to continue the franchise.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Again, like you said, I think the story itself was what kind of was like the downside to it. Although it was cool to see like some of the moments where like Paul Rudd steps in, tries to be a stepdad.
Yeah, that was cute. Yeah, I like that.
Oh, absolutely. And like I said, if they were to bring back Rick Moranis, it would have to flow in naturally. Like, hey, he could even be the company's taxman. He should be watching over, making sure everything's well funded.
Yeah.
It would make sense.
Well,
it'd be interesting.
It'd be interesting if the next one was like, hey, we're going on vacation to a tropical island. We don't have our uniforms. We don't have our backing. We don't have our weaponry. We have to figure out how to stop a ghost with nothing but our brains and, ingenuity.
Yes.
And that can be done on the cheap. You could probably shoot that for $50-60 million, and you just have small cameos from the cast.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my God, did I just write myself into the franchise? Hey, you got to write us in. Oh no, I'm a concept man, guys. I have no idea how to write.
Exactly. You come up with concepts. They're also, hey, you do get credited with the screenplay.
Yeah, they're so they've been talking about where the franchise is going to go after this, live action, but they've also been talking about doing an animated movie. And that keeps getting put off. I remember it was supposed to be after the Answer the Call. They were going to do an animated series, and they said, well, maybe an animated movie. Netflix, I believe, stepped in for a while. I think MGM now is stepping in. I'm not sure where that's at. So the next entry may not be live action. It may be animated.
And that's always a fun concept. It's always worked well with animation. From the real Ghostbusters to Extreme Ghostbusters.
Well, yeah, and they had the video games where they brought everybody back for the voice cast. They had they have a numerous comic series. They had Now Comics when I was a kid, but then they continued the storylines with IDW for a while. I don't know where it's going to go next, because that's like the way it is with Back to the Future. We've had no sequels, but we've had video games, the Telltale games. We had the animated series and also the comic book, and Bob Gale has been in charge of all of it. So while it's not considered canon, it's still continuing the lore for the fans.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, before Empire Strikes Back came out, Star Wars did that too with like Splinter of the Mind's Eye and a few other stories.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing that we do have to grasp with, though, is 80s nostalgia is dying. I mean, it hung on longer than it should have. I think that's part of what Stranger Things did. Because usually it's a 20 to 30 year cycle. People start getting interested about 15 years out. And about 35 years out, they're sick of it. They've moved on. They're on to So I'm shocked that we aren't knee deep in 90s nostalgia right now. We're still dealing with 80s. What fucking Tron Ares came out, it's not doing that well. The new Karate Kid isn't doing that well. I think a lot of it is smaller scale. That's why Cobra Kai did so well, because it was lower budget and you get to spend more time with the characters. Beverly Hills Cop 4 is fucking on Amazon and you can't buy it. I keep looking for the last 2 or 3 years. You're seeing interest in 80s.
Yeah, Axel Foley.
Yeah.
The fourth one. I watched that. Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Yeah, you just think about it though. It's like, first off, the actors are starting to die off. They just are. They're getting older. We just lost Diane Keaton and Robert Redford. Harrison Ford is going to go any time now. He's like 85. And that last Indiana Jones, people just didn't seem interested. And I really think the 80s are just done. And it was time that we started embracing the 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah, I will say the last Indiana Jones was a great send-off. In fact, my dad even said,
okay.
He straight up said, he couldn't imagine Indy having a better ending.
Yeah, I have got to get around to watching it. I've been slowly picking up on newer movies, and this isn't part of our regular show where we were discussing movies from the 70s. This is kind of just like a mini-sode we're adding on to the other thing. But I do believe when we come back, we'll wrap up the 70s and let's start getting into like 2000, 2005. I think people they're getting nostalgic for that era.
Oh, definitely, especially for fast food prices.
Oh, well, fuck yeah, goddamn! I was at the grocery store today, and I was just like, "What am I paying for cereal? What? No!" Yeah. But yeah, that's it for this episode, everybody. This is just kind of a Halloween special add-on. We will see you back in January, though. We have so many backlog episodes, you're probably not even gonna notice.
Right, but hey, I mean, honestly, Ghostbusters, something like that is always a must-watch every Halloween, personally, for me.
Okay. All right, Jacob, thank you, and we will see you in a couple months. Everybody, thank you for listening. Have a good one.